Eagles-Ravens, the final 4 o'clock game that we have here.
Very excited.
Both of these teams coming off of huge wins, primetime wins. Now in the 4 o'clock window here in the afternoon on this upcoming Sunday. Your matchup that matters, Carmen. What do you got?
Yeah, I want to see AJ Brown against these Ravens corners. Brown burst single coverage, 554 receiving yards, which is the most in the NFL. And then the Ravens passing defense, they have allowed the most passing yards, 3,569 to be exact. 22 passing touchdowns allowed, that is third most. 50 completions, allowing 20 or more yards, that is second most. So they are prone to explosive plays, and that is something that AJ Brown does very well. So who gets the better of that? Can Ravens pass defense kind of step up a little bit more? I'm very interested to see if Roquan Smith ends up playing for the Ravens while not necessarily pass defense. I think, especially early on in that game, though the Ravens did end up winning, I do think that they felt the effects of Roquan Smith not being in the middle of that defense, just in general, that throws a lot off. And that's not something that you can afford against not only AJ Brown, but then another matchup, I'm sure, or what's going to get into my plus factor is Saquon Barkley. Also, I mean, this Philadelphia offense just has so many ways to beat you, but so does the Ravens, which is why this is going to be a really fun game.
The matchup that matters to me is sort of the same thing because I've said this multiple times this week because I thought the line was fantastic when Chris Collinsworth, the boss man, said on Sunday Night Football that the Eagles offense feels like layups and threes, right? The layups are handing the ball off to Saquon Barkley and it's a free 2 points, and the threes are the deep shots to AJ Brown. And right now it feels like this offense is the Golden State Warriors, right? Where they have almost a guaranteed 3-pointer every time, and then whenever they want to take it into the paint, they got a guaranteed 2. That's how it feels watching the Eagles offense. And if you take away the threes, then this all of a sudden starts to become an offense that you can beat, that you can outscore. And AJ Brown has yet to really he has yet to really be shut down for a consistent period of time. It feels like it's only a matter of time before he catches a deep pass. And so how the Ravens defend that, particularly the fact that they have been the worst in the NFL at doing so, can they hold up against a team that they know wants to do this against them? I think it's one of those things where it's like the Eagles are going to look them straight in the eye and say, we're throwing it deep. You know it. We know it. Everybody here knows it.
Right.
Stop it. And I think that's going to be a major point in whether or not the Ravens can end up winning this football game. On the other side of things for the Philadelphia Eagles, my plus factor in this one is Cooper DeJean, because when you look at him in the slot, 78.8 slot defense coverage grade so far this season. I think how he plays against Zay Flowers in particular is going to mean a lot in this, because when you look at the Ravens stats, there are some times when you could look at a stat sheet and you could tell how a game goes. And I can almost look at a stat sheet and sort of tell you, like, okay, is this towards the Ravens game plan? Do I think the Ravens won this game? It's not always that I could do that, but when I see that the Ravens ran the ball as well as they did against the Los Angeles Chargers, and the fact that Zay Flowers got more than 60 yards receiving, I went, okay, there we go. Like, that's the compliment that you want to see from the Ravens. And just like the Ravens are going to want to shut down the deep pass portion of the Eagles offense, if Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean can stop Zay Flowers or limit Zay Flowers, maybe 50, 45 or less receiving yards in this game, then the Ravens become a little bit too one-dimensional. And they then keep up with a very potent Eagles offense. So to me, DeJean is a rookie going up against one of the shiftiest, fastest slot receivers in the game, and Zay Flowers is going to mean a lot in this one. Who's your plus factor?
Yeah, I went with the obvious one that we just kind of have to talk about, because I want to highlight both of these guys really, but more Saquon Barkley or just whoever runs the football better. Because Saquon Barkley has now overtaken Derrick Henry for the most rushing yards right now. 776 rushing yards after contact too, which ranks second behind Derrick Henry. So they're kind of like flip-flop and stuff like that. But Saquon Barkley, 53 rushes, gaining a first down, that's third. 29 rushes, gaining 10 or more yards, that's first. 7 rushing touchdowns of 10 or more yards, that's 3 more than any other player. 5 rushing touchdowns of 20 or more yards, that's 2 more than any other player. 3 rushing touchdowns of 40 or more yards, which ranks first. So Saquon Barkley, a little bit more prone for the explosive rush than what we've seen out of Derrick Henry, though both of these guys, it's totally splitting hairs between the two of them. Which one runs better and gives their offense more production? I think that's kind of what you can boil down to who's going to win this game. And that's kind of what I think of as the plus factor being.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you like and subscribe the video. And if you don't have a PFF Plus subscription, you can get one to see all the premium stats that we talked about here on the show, plus the expert betting and fantasy advice over at subscribe.pff.com. The description is also right below. So if you are not a PFF Plus subscriber, you can become one today.